I created 3 darling cards using Spellbinders Cuckoo Cottage Collection. I made a fall, Halloween, and Christmas card. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. Okay, I'm going to start with the backgrounds. I thought I had recorded showing you guys all of the die cuts. I did not, and I just want to apologize for that. But we're going to make our background. So we have 3 backgrounds, a fall, a Christmas, and a Halloween. This is the fall one. I'm using spun sugar and dried marigold along with Lawn Fawn's plaid stencil. We're going to do stenciling for our backgrounds. And I want this to be really soft for our fall card because I'm doing like all the fall colors on our darling Cuckoo Cottage. When I saw these dies, I'm like, I just have to make all the holidays. They are so cute, and I do want to make a 4th card. I just didn't have time to do it when I made these 3 because it's a lot of die cutting. Totally worth it, but a lot of die cutting. Okay, so I did my stencil one way with the spun sugar. I'm taking the second stencil, going the other way very lightly with dried marigold, and then I will do these both again, each one of these stencils again. Like I mentioned, I wanted a really soft fall background, and I thought it'd be fun to bring in a little bit of pink, even though everything else is going to be traditional fall colors. So let's bring in that same one I just did with the dried marigold, but I'm going to turn it in the opposite direction. And I'll be honest, I wasn't even super worried about how I was lining it up. I just kind of laid it down where I felt like it made sense and just did a little bit of ink blending. Look at that. Okay, let's do that next stencil again, that other direction with the spun sugar. And then just gently, and you can see I'm kind of just going side to side rather than in a circle. I was feeling lazy and did not want to get out my pixie spray to spray this down when this just worked fine. So I'm just doing it this way rather than in a circular motion. But look at how cute that background is. I love it. Okay, let's go on to our next background. I have the Batty stencil from scrapbook.com on fog cardstock from Spellbinders, and some black soot distress oxide ink. This is a 2-layered stencil, and I'm keeping it just super simple because we do have a lot of stuff going on with our Cuckoo Cottages. So I'm going to line up the second stencil. It just has like these cute little like triangular type stars and other stars on there. So I'm going to put that in place and do a little bit of ink blending with that, but I liked starting with that gray cardstock. It was taking me a minute to get it lined up, you guys. And then again, doing that cute ink blending. And these stars are really little, so I was really making sure I could get my ink into there. Oh, look at how cute that background is. Okay, our final background. I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending because I wanted a softer green, so I'm using Bundled Sage Distress Oxide ink. And I don't care that it's perfect. I did not want it to be a perfect ink blending on the background. And then I'm going to use the Trees stencil from scrapbook.com. And I used Rustic Wilderness for that. So let me get that out here. And if you didn't want to just stencil with ink, you could use fun texture pastes for some of these, and that would be fun too. That would give you a little bit of texture. But I felt like this was totally fine and perfect. Let me get that nice and lined up, and then let's get our ink blending. We're going to get all these fun little trees and polka dots onto our background. And I've done all my die cutting ahead of time, of course, because it was a lot of die cutting. I think it probably took me an hour to die cut everything, just to think it through and what colors you needed. So let's start with fall, since that's kind of first. And I have die cut, and I'm going to try to remember all the cardstock here. I will have everything listed and linked for you guys below. So the back solid piece to our Cuckoo Cottage is from Alabaster. I believe that this brown, all that detail is acorn cardstock from Spellbinders. This totally is like a Tudor home to me, and I would love to live in a Tudor style home. Me and my husband love them so much. And yeah, so I was super thrilled when I showed my husband. He's like, that's just the cutest thing ever. Then for our roof line, I used terracotta cardstock. We're going to get that in place. Now, I'm not going to show putting together this part of all the houses unless there's something different, then I will, but I do show putting all of the cards together. Now, there is little people that go with this and a little bird for the top window. I did not use those on these cards. I do use the windows on 2 of them, but I'm not going to use the little people, but there is stuff for the little people, and I will tell you that as I go along. We have our clock here right in the center. That largest piece is die cut from terracotta. The center piece is die cut from carrot. Then I used gold mirror cardstock for all of the cute little cuckoo clocks. That's the one thing that was cohesive between all 3 of them. Then you have our little darling pieces right there that are die cut from fawn cardstock, and that bottom piece on the house is from fawn cardstock. We have our window that is die cut from, I think that's saffron, and then it's terracotta. Look at these little stick pieces that are going to go on the roof. Is that just not the cutest? That is die cut from truffle cardstock. So 2 for the top, you can see that there's 2 different sizes, and then 2 for the bottom. Just so cute. It's just so cute. So you have to have the base Cuckoo Cottage die set. This is all these add-ons here are the harvest time. So the sticks here, and then all the fall things, the house, the clock, the window, all of that stuff is from the original, like just Cuckoo Cottage. So I decided I thought it'd be fun to set the times to all of my kids' birthdays. So my oldest son is June 5th. So I am doing June 5th here for him. And you have your little centerpiece that goes over that. So you have your little clock hands and your centerpiece. And I am going to speed this up as far as, putting things together, because otherwise this video would be so long, you guys, because it takes a minute. This is definitely an investment, but I love these die sets. These are just the cutest things that I have seen in a long time. This little harvest time add-on has mushrooms and leaves. There's foxes and squirrels, pumpkins, acorns, different, like a big acorn and little tiny acorns. So the mushrooms are alabaster, and pomegranate cardstock. So I did a dark red, and I think it's a perfect red for Christmas and fall. And then we have our cute little squirrel here. I'm only going to use 1, but it does die cut 2. But I'm just going to use 1, and there's a little piece, a little black piece from black cardstock that I die cut to go behind his face. He's die cut from fawn. Then we have a fawn, and it looks like truffle for the acorns. And then we have our little piece on the back. This is going to swing. This is our pendulum. So I'm putting a little square piece inside the back. I just kind of measured visually how far I wanted that to hang down for my card. And so I used a 2mm foam square, and then I'm using 2mm foam adhesive around the rest of this. That little circle, when you glue this down to your background, that little pendulum is going to swing. So it's kind of interactive, really. I mean, just very slightly, but super cute. So you don't want to adhere down the circle. You just want it kind of around that little square piece of foam adhesive. I am going to get smart here in a second and grab my reverse tweezers to hold that in place. Then I can center that on my fall background, push that down, and then you can see how that moves. Then we have our leaves that I'm going to glue down. We have the yellow is beeswax. Then we have, fern. I think that's fern. but I'll have it listed linked for you below. The green. No, let me see. Hold on one second. I'm going to find that out really quick. Yes, I was correct, fern. And then we have the pomegranate cardstock for some of those, for those red leaves. And then again, like I use the gold mirror for all the little other pendulum little pieces that hang down. I guess not really pendulum. They're the ones that hang on the chains. And I'm just going to trim those down because I have foam adhesive up there, so I can't slide it all the way up. But I'm going to put them at different lengths. You can see that little acorn is on that centerpiece, and I'm just gluing down at the top. I don't want everything glued directly to my background. I like the dimension that it gives when those kind of end pieces lift up. Let's put our squirrel in place. I'm going to add more of those like red mapley looking leaves at the top. We have our yellow leaves, and just creating a little scene at the base of our house or our little cuckoo cottage. Adding those darling little mushrooms. We've got a couple pumpkins that we will put in place. The pumpkins were made from the terracotta cardstock and the acorn cardstock. You could even do these in really soft colors too, like I did that background in the soft pink and orange. You could do this totally that way, but I just was like, I'm going full fall. I'm going to add this tiny little acorn there at the top of that window and another one down here at the bottom. Just kind of deciding where I wanted some of these little pieces to go. How cute. Another little yellow leaf. Okay. Let's go to our Halloween. Like I mentioned, I glued those base pieces together. That long piece that I just adhered down is from the original Cuckoo Cottage. I glued the pendulum the same way as the first one, so I wasn't going to show that again. But now I can just show you guys putting the rest of this together. We have that little skull, and some of these pieces have like the circular pieces that will go behind the die cuts for like the eyes and the mouth. So the skull, the ghosts, the spiders, the bats, and the pumpkins all have those little pieces. So I'm gluing those down right now. I die cut those from white cardstock. My black and white is mixed media cardstock from scrapbook.com. I'm going to put those pieces down. Then there's these cute little candy corn pieces that I die cut. I love them. They're so fun. But look at our little spiders. I'm going to trim this one shorter and, you know, have different sizes. I do want one of these bats on that little pendulum that swings. Look at how cute it is. Oh my gosh. I will add some of these chains to this as well. And I have two kitty cats. I'm going to use one. And I actually had some extra pieces from my candy corns. So I'm putting those together right now. That is die cut from, oh my gosh, what do we have? Beeswax. No, not beeswax. Saffron and terracotta, and then white, of course. But I had a little extra one of those orange pieces that I put behind the cat face. So the cat had these fun orange eyes, and I think it was the saffron cardstock that I did. Then we have our jack-o'-lanterns. The back piece I just die cut from black cardstock. And I'm going to put both of those together. We're going to use two of those. There's a darling little witch hat and broom that can go on the people from the original Cuckoo Cottage die cut. So if you wanted to have a little witch, you totally could. I opted on no people on my clocks, but I am going to use the witch hat and the broom on this piece here. Here's our two different cute little ghosts. I'm going to use both of those. Now at the top next to the clock, I forgot to add the little detail pieces. I do add that on later. You'll see it in the photos, but I did it from the green cardstock, not fern. It is rainforest cardstock that I used that. So the clock itself is rainforest and terracotta. And this one was set for my son, my youngest son. His birthday is June 13th. He was actually born on Friday the 13th, and he loves Halloween. So I set the clock time to his birthday. A little fun purple, or it's lilac cardstock from Spellbinders for that background of the house. Black for the detail, but there's a little collar for the cats, and I had an extra one, so I'm putting it on the witch's hat, the same little lilac color. Then you have these bone pieces that I die cut from white. I'm going to adhere one of those to a bottom of the chain. And then one of those candy corn pieces to the bottom of a chain. We're going to have all those pieces hang down, and that gives us some fun color down there as well. So I'm trying to get these guys lined up where I need them to be, where I want them to be really. And then I can slide it under, just adding a little bit of liquid glue at the top, except for the spiders. I did add that one on the spider itself to hold that in place, but the other ones I did not want those to be adhered down. Let's add that bone in there. How cute is that? Aren't these little cuckoo clocks the cutest things ever? I just think they're so, so darling. Let's add our cat, one of our ghosts over here. I'm going to add 2 jack-o'-lanterns at the top, the other bone and the other candy corn. I'm going to tuck that under. And then to the pumpkin or the jack-o'-lantern on the right, I'm going to add the witch's hat, and then we're also going to add the witch's broom over there. It's this tiny little broom, and it's so cute. I wanted all the witchy things, but without the witch. I'm just not into like people-y things. I'm into critter things or ghosts or pumpkins. That's kind of what I'm into. Not that I don't like witches and things like that, but in something like this, that's kind of what I tend to lean towards. Okay, let's tuck that bone under there, and then there is that broom. How cute is that? And then a bat right at the top. Okay, let's go on to our Christmas one. So white cardstock, fern cardstock, pomegranate cardstock. Here is the snow that's going to go on top of the roof. This is part of the Christmas one. The Halloween one was called Halloween TikTok. This is Chiming Christmas. So this has all of the add-ons to the original Cuckoo Cottage. Then you have this little candy cane piece. This is an add-on I'm going to put in place right here at the bottom. So cute. I love the green, red, and white. I love red and white. And so we do our Christmas tree a lot in red and white. Of course, the Christmas tree is green, so that's kind of what I was going for here. So I'm going to glue this piece down. We have some Christmas trees, a snowman. We have little candy pieces. We have a reindeer, which I turned into Rudolph. And some of the pieces that hang down at the bottom of the cuckoo clock are fun ornaments. So really cute. I have the open window here at the top, and I'm going to place one of the little like peppermint candies inside. So see these little pieces here? This is what I forgot on the Halloween one, but I did put those in place after I was all done. And I may show that in the video, but I don't remember for sure. So let me get these together. Again, using the pomegranate cardstock, and I'm going to place that in that open window. Then these 2 pieces come with the add-on, the Chiming Christmas add-on. These are these really pretty, I think they're so pretty, little ornaments. So we're going to use those. Look at how darling that is. So I have that glued down. I already showed that in the very first card. I'm going to place these guys in position. There is also a penguin that goes with this. And I forgot to mention in the Halloween TikTok add-on, there's a cute little mummy too. So lots of cute things, you guys. So many cute little dies. And some of these pieces you could use for other types of cards as well. So not just for the Cuckoo Cottage clocks. Let me put that guy in place. And this card is for my sweet and precious daughter, Jordan. Her birthday is December 14th. And so I did that on this card. Now we have the trees I die cut from white cardstock, and then these little pieces are from fern cardstock. So it's meant to look like there is snow on your trees, which is really, really cute. I die cut a lot of these because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do or how many trees I wanted, but I ended up using 2. Then we have the reindeer, which is so darling. Our snowman here is from white and black cardstock. We have our little tree trunks here. Those are from fawn cardstock. let's glue together our snowman. He is going to have a red scarf. And I did forget to die cut my scarves for my reindeer, and I did die cut a green scarf for him. So really, out of the lot of dies that I had to die cut, I only forgot 2, which is not too bad. Look at how cute these guys are. So we have our little snowman here. I wasn't sure, or snowman, reindeer. I wasn't sure which reindeer I was going to use or where things were going to go, so I just put both of them together because you can always save this for another project. And then I'm just using a little micro pin to add the eyes for the deer. And again, I will add his green scarf a little bit later. I'm adding a little bit of foam adhesive behind my trees. This is the first card I did foam adhesive on because I went further out with the decorations. So this one's going to be kind of symmetrical, which is kind of weird for me. I don't really do symmetrical, but the trees are. I feel like that looked good. And there is little stars that I die cut from Gold Mirror cardstock that I topped on those trees. And then we're going to have our snowman over here. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. He has little arms and everything. And then our reindeer on our right-hand side. And all of these will be adhered to a white A2 size card base. Cute. Okay, let's do our sentiments. So I am using 3 different stamp sets. I am using 2 from Honeybee Stamps. One of them is the Mini Messages Fall. The other one is Sweet Halloween, and then the Christmas one is from scrapbook.com, which is this one, the Wonder and Delight stamp set. I used coordinating dies for all of these. I'm just going to stamp these on white cardstock with black ink. Now, I did put 2 of these sentiments on an angle on the cards. I tried to do it on the Christmas one. I put them down straight first, and then when I tried to pull the Christmas one up, it pulled up some of the paper. So I had to leave that one straight. But you can see right here, this is what I'm doing. But look at the fall one. It was on an angle, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's actually really cute. So I did that, and you can see my Christmas one. I have to move it back because I could just see the little piece that it ruined. I wasn't going to redo everything, so it is cute how it is. But let's take a look at these up close. So this says Happy Fall, y'all. Look at how that moves with that little acorn, the stenciled background. But these die cut Cuckoo Cottage die cuts are cute. This is the Harvest Time add-on to the Cuckoo Cottage die cut itself. Cute, cute. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is our Halloween. This is the Halloween TikTok add-on that says Ghostly Greetings. It's too cute, you guys. Look at all those pieces. I love Spellbinders for their detailed dies. And of course, we have the Chiming Christmas. I love this one so much. And it says 'Tis the Season with that fun little peppermint there at the bottom, and our little reindeer that I used red pops of color, Rudolph Red, for his nose. I forgot to mention that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel inspired by these cards, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, like, thumbs up, and share, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.